I think we're live.
Has anyone noticed that the start times have gotten a little bit lax over the last couple of days?
I think that they've always been lax. We don't actually pay attention to what the start times look like from your end of things. Apologies.
I refuse to apologize. Instead, I'm going to blame.
It's probably my fault.
I think there's enough blame to go around. It's just that
It's probably your fault.
I'm going to share some of your blame.
It's probably our fault.
If I had some toast and you had some toast, I would take some of the blame from your toast and spread it on my toast, just to be nice and so that our toasts looked the same and were equally delicious.
L Puppy and H Puppy are here.
Wait, H
So
Puppy's
is
here
William.
too? Is H Puppy a member of the Matthew fan club? That's what I'm hoping. It seems like if you're sharing the puppies...
Wait, you said that you weren't going to try to recruit people to your fan
Oh, no,
club.
no, I'm certainly not. I was just wondering aloud, without any hint of agenda, if H Puppy might possibly...
You might never know.
Not be a Robbie group. I just don't know. I don't know. It's
H
possible.
Puppy might not reveal himself.
The Real McCoys read-along for April 6th, 2020.
Pleasant greetings.
Hello, friends.
Hi,
Hello.
everyone.
Top of the morning to you. Hello. Was that pleasant? Did anyone find that pleasant, or was it unnerving?
How many pleasant greetings were supposed to be there? That was about 7.
I was pleasantly greeting, waiting for you to join me. I was trying to set a good example, hoping that you would come down from
Hello,
your...
friends.
From your
Hello. Hello, friends. Hello.
Good job.
Hello.
Good job.
Top of the morning
No,
to you, friends.
sincerity.
Hello.
Sincerity is important. Not sort of thinly veiled mockery.
I can't be sincere if I've been forced to do something because of the agenda.
No. You've been inspired to. You've been invited to join me in this meadow of buttercups and pleasantries.
Wow.
Take it all in. It smells good.
Are we live?
What?
We're supposed to be live.
It says excellent condition. Does somebody say we're not?
L Puppy is wondering if we're live.
Maybe she's asking sort of an existential question. Are you live?
Mr.
Robbie
Funny
Matthew?
Pants is part of the Matthew fan club.
Oh!
But also part of the Robbie fan club.
All right, here we go. I'll take what I can get. What does this say? Matthew expresses...
Profound relief at having survived his sojourn in the gaping maw of chaos.
Okay, so the last 2 days...
Wait, there's some vocabulary words in there you need to explain.
Matthew expresses...
Profound is very large, very great.
To express is to say. Profound means big. Matthew says his big relief. You guys know what relief means. Having survived, you know what that is. His sojourn. A sojourn is the time spent.
Yes.
My sojourn, the time I spent in, or my visit to, the gaping maw. That means the great big mouth. Great big mouth. So I'm telling you about my relief at having survived my time in the big mouth of chaos. Chaos means lack of order.
Lack of order. Now,
Yes.
to be clear,
Yes.
you were not in a gaping mouth of anything.
No, that's a metaphor.
That is a metaphor.
That's a metaphor. It's like there was the chaos,
Yes.
and I got close to it, and the chaos almost swallowed me
you were
whole.
inside of
but
it.
I stood back and I said, no, chaos. I will thwart you. Anyway,
And
all
you
I'm
might have
saying
noticed that in the Real McCoys,
yeah,
lots and lots of metaphors.
Yeah, Moxie
None of
talks-
those things actually happen.
hyperbola. Remember we talked
Yes.
about hyperbole?
Yes.
All right, so it was kind of like
This
that.
is Matthew's hyperbole.
Moxie and I are a lot alike, my friends.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Wait.
What?
Are you profound? You haven't expressed your relief yet.
Haven't I been expressing it?
You've been described.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I survived the lack of agenda. I cannot believe I survived the horror of the untrammeled fun flying at me from every direction with no guide rules or parameters.
You didn't survive the lack of agenda because in spite of there being no agenda this weekend, you still wrote up 2 agendas.
Yeah, but did that agenda get shredded mercilessly
It did.
with the glee of 1,000 unicorns
It did.
eating 1,000 balls of cotton candy on 1,000 theme park rides?
Yes.
That was also a little hyperbolic. Okay. Theme song, Robbie,
Oh,
theme song.
I did not realize the theme song needed to be...
In the last show, Robbie played the wrong theme song.
He did.
But, that's kind of how it is.
The Robbie and Matthew Show.
Oh, that was exciting, Robbie. Do that again.
Wait,
you
what?
kind of created a little vortex with your hands.
I did?
You went like this, and it was exciting. It looked like that was
Look,
the
you
gaping
can do
maw.
it.
It was the gaping maw
Does
of
that bring you
chaos.
back to this weekend?
I don't want to even see it again. Even using my own hands that way was scary. Theme song, hydrate. We got more
hydrate.
water. Oftentimes we forget to hydrate you guys, but you're
Yes.
just as important as the last group.
Cheers. Prost. Kampai. Does anybody... Oh, in the comments, please, if you know any other cheerses in other languages,
Yes, please share them with us.
please share them.
Presumably there's
Wait,
hundreds.
are you already done?
Yeah, I'm done.
What?
I'm done. You were wasting a lot of time with your cheersing and drinksing. Robbie asks Matthew and interview question. So we tried to interview each other yesterday. I asked Robbie one question. Her answer was so long.
It was. I'm sorry about that.
But you know what? She redeemed herself. It was a good story. I asked her about a formative moment in her life. Maybe I will concisely recap it to those of you who weren't here. She was in Alaska. She got scared by a little tiny creature. She missed out on a big opportunity. She later found out the creature was a stump, and therefore she missed out on it. Did I hit the high points, Robbie?
You
okay.
did.
So Robbie is going to ask me one question because I know that you've been living in a state of agitation, wishing to know more about me, and not knowing it. And that's probably why your affinity for Robbie is so high, because you understand her inner mechanisms because of that very long and tortured story. So, Robbie, please.
Yes.
What can how
Is
enlighten?
there
Yes.
someone in your life
Yes.
who you feel, in retrospect,
That means
someone
looking
from
back.
from your childhood,
Yes.
who you feel looking back in retrospect,
Yes.
that you wish you had been nicer to or treated better?
Well, of course, my friend Charles Wallace, who was a real boy, and not a wooden toy carved by Geppetto. All right? He was a very nice young man.
Wait, are you regretting how you treated
No,
Charles
I
Wallace?
just wanted the opportunity. Is there someone I
say
wish
it.
I had treated better?
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm almost too embarrassed to tell the story.
Oh.
No, I'm not going to tell that story
No?
here. Who do I wish I had treated? I wish that I had treated better. Oh.
I have an answer for me.
Okay, go ahead.
I took piano lessons.
Yes.
And my piano teacher was a very aged woman.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say old lady, but she was old. She was old. And she spoke very slowly and deliberately. And I hated piano lessons with her. I hated them so badly that I would never practice. I would show up and I would just make things up on the piano. She'd say, how about play the scales that we were supposed to learn this week? And I would just make things up. And she would go, and I'd be like, do-do-do. And she'd be like, and I'd be like, do-do-do. And she'd be like, And
You messed with her?
just tortured the poor woman because I hated, not on purpose, because I didn't want to practice because I hated piano lessons. However, after taking piano lessons for 3 years from this poor woman who had to suffer every week through my lessons, I do know how to read music. I do know, like she did teach me in spite of myself, and I feel terribly that I was such an awful student. And my lessons were on Wednesdays. I still hate Wednesdays because of piano lessons.
I didn't know that about you.
Yep.
I didn't know that Robbie hated Wednesdays.
There you go.
Robbie's never told me that before. This was an opportunity for me to learn something about Robbie. I'm having a genuinely difficult time.
Okay.
Partially because I don't remember anything that happened before yesterday.
I know.
Period.
I only had that question because I had an answer in my head.
I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to tell you guys on another day.
All right.
Okay? You know what?
Salud is how you say cheers in Spanish.
You know what?
Thank you.
I want to make sure we get in before I run out of time.
Yes.
Is the thing that we assigned you guys as a homework assignment yesterday.
Oh, yes.
I'm a little sad that none of you guys
Nobody posted a get-well-elephant.
it, but we drew get-well-elephants. I'm going to show mine first because it's not probably going to be quite as delightful as Robbie's because of my complete lack of illustration skills.
Stop it. You are an illustrator, Matthew. This is what we're trying to teach people.
I
if
am-
you draw, you're an illustrator.
I'm an illustrator because I drew my get-well-elephant. Here's my get-well-elephant.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute.
All right. So
I love your get-well-elephant.
my get-well-elephant is holding
What is he eating?
a bowl of chicken noodle soup.
Chicken noodle soup.
All right.
Aw.
So he is coming to your house. Probably he will hand you the chicken noodle soup through your window because if he came into your house would get not well. And he would have to become a carpentry get-well-elephant. He'd have to fix your door or the wall or whatever he bashed through.
Your house would also be
So
not well.
the get-well-elephant, you just have to call him. There's a get-well-elephant equivalent of a bat signal. I don't know what it is. I'm going to figure it out. But then you can call him. He can come. Robbie, can you show us your get-well-elephant?
show you my
I don't remember the
get-well-elephant.
genesis of get-well-elephant. Was it?
It was a joke.
It was a joke. It was
Yeah.
a joke punchline. Okay.
All right.
Yes.
There's my get-well-elephant.
Ooh, El Puppy just told us how to say it in Hindi, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Wow. Thank you, El Puppy. Oh.
There's my get-well-elephant.
Oh my goodness. You know what? My get-well-elephant should bring your get-well-elephant some soup.
Yes!
My get-well-elephant is already well.
Yes.
Yours needs to get-well-elephant.
Yep.
By eating the soup provided by my get-well-elephant. I think there's a symbiotic opportunity event. So, guys, I would still like to see your get-well-elephants.
Yes.
If you don't mind posting them, sharing them with us.
Oh my gosh, we have cheers in Latin.
Oh my gosh, what is it?
Ubentium.
Whoa,
Ubentium.
that sounds exciting.
Skål.
Oh.
Cheers in Danish.
Oh,
And also see Albright Life's chicken noodle soup.
thank you for sharing
Yeah.
us with that. Oops. All right, friends.
And Amy hated piano lessons for 10 years. I think I actually took lessons for 8 years. I don't know why I said 3, but 8 years. It took 8 years to teach me. And somebody points out that is a universal regret. We should be grateful to all piano teachers in the world.
Can I tell you a story? I took piano from a woman named Mrs. Ziegler.
Yeah.
When I was in my 10-year, 8-year, 9-year-old range.
Yeah.
And she was probably at that age in her 80s.
Yeah.
And she, taught at her house. You would go into her house, and she had 2 pianos. She had one piano where you would play and it made notes, and she had another piano where there were no wires attached to the keys, and you just had to play them, and it was called blueprinting, and you needed to know how to play so well that you could play without hearing the notes, and she would watch your fingers, and she would know if you got it right or not.
Wait.
And you guys...
Wait!
What?
I didn't know that this was from your real life.
Yeah.
This is something that is in the Cookie Chronicles book 2?
3.
Book 3.
Yeah. You thought I made that up?
I thought you made that up.
No, it's a
That
story
is
from my
real life.
Yeah.
Oh.
So my beloved piano teacher, Mrs. Ziegler, is now immortalized as a character and as a practice in book 3 of the Cookie Chronicle series. You get to do that sort of
nice
thing.
to
I might dedicate that book to her.
Ziegler.
We'll see. All right, guys, I think
Yes.
we have spent so much time visiting with you that we need to now get on to Matthew Reed's Chapter 1 of Two's a Crowd. You guys, it's time to start a new book.
A new book!
We are going to delve into the second chapter of the Real McCoys series, which is called Two's a Crowd, in which Moxie's adventures continue and Milton's adventures continue. I'm so excited to share it with you. Can we begin? May I read to you? I cannot hear your responses.
Oh, I had to skip through these pages. There we go.
You don't have to skip. We could read all of the legal print.
Tiny
Let's
fine
not do
print.
that. I do want to read the dedication of this book.
Oh.
To Clifford for setting the table, and to Robin for bringing the light. Clifford is my boss at my job, and he provided a great opportunity for us to be able to work from home and do really cool work that I like.
Thank you, Clifford.
While supporting ourselves as artists.
Yes.
And Robin is a friend of ours who's like the wisest person we've ever met, who tells us all sorts of smart things and who's helped us become better people and happier people. So we're really grateful to both of them. Let us proceed with the book. Chapter 1, The Secret Handshake. The name's Moxie McCoy. You may know me by my deeds, which are legendary. You might be startled by my speed and smarts and lightning-quick reflexes, which are, quite frankly, unrivaled. You probably haven't heard of my puny little brother Milton, but here he is, stuck to my side, like a leprechaun chasing the rainbow. To the untrained eye, it might look like we're walking to school, but we are, in fact, working. On the lookout for peril, mishap, and disaster. Ready to save the world at a moment's notice. My hero and mentor, Annabelle Adams, girl detective, is only 12 years old, but she has saved the world 58 times already, one for each book in her series, which I have read 39 3/4 times and can recite to you from memory with one hand tied behind my back and the other one eating an apple. After saving our school and solving the crime of the century, Milton and I are in search of a bigger, trickier, more death-defying challenge. But for days and weeks, the world has been boringly normal. No capers, no heists, not even a missing lunchbox. As we turn the corner of the magnificent shape of Tiddlywump Elementary comes into view, there, standing next to the flagpole with eyes full of love, is my very best friend in the whole entire world. The good and perfect and interesting and talented and sweet-smelling Emily Estevez. We are as inseparable as oranges and the color orange. I have not talked to Emily in 3 whole days because she has been camping with her family in a cabin that does not have a phone. Emily! Moxie! We face each other, stick out our elbows, and do the most intricate and difficult to learn or duplicate secret handshake in the history of best friendship. Its many moves include dump the slug and love the slug. Dump the soup and love the slug and chop the avocado. Because, as everyone knows, but so few are willing to admit, soup is awful, slugs are incredibly lovable, and guacamole is the world's most perfect appetizer. Emily agrees with me on all 3 points, but that is not why I love her. I love her because in the middle of her soul is a ball of goodness so warm and full and perfectly round that you could use it to play golf if you liked playing golf, which I don't. A group of kids has gathered to watch our handshake. When we finish, we get a round of applause, which we ignore, because now it's time for a long, enjoyable hug. Emily! Moxie, I've been waiting for you. This has been the longest 3 days of my life. I need your help with something, says Emily. I can tell from her expression that something serious is going on, which is rather exciting. What is it? Has your cousin been kidnapped? Are your jewels missing? No, everyone's fine, and I don't have any jewels, but I might have a case for you. My eyes get big. My heart gets wide. Emily knows I've been on the lookout for the next big case. Tell me! When my dads and I got home from our camping trip, I found... But at that moment, I see Tammy and Tracy Dublinger standing by the front door, working on their own secret handshake, which, if I am to be honest, they are executing with the mechanical precision of Olympic ribbon dancers. The crowd has moved over there and is making little oohing sounds. Tracy sees me, seeing her, and gives me a wicked grin. Grinning wickedly is one of Tracy Dublinger's favorite pastimes. Annabelle Adams is constantly tormented by her nemesis, the supervillain Dr. Fungo, who comes up with new schemes to crush happiness and inconvenience humanity as quickly as Annabelle can put a stop to them. And I am constantly tormented by my nemesis, Tracy Dublinger. After Milton and I thwarted her loathsome attempt to kidnap our beloved school mascot, Eddie the Great Horned Owl, I'd assumed she would be instantly banished to a distant moldy dungeon where all they serve is soup. But she is still among us, glaring and scheming and stealing my secret handshake. Hey, Moxie, over here, says Emily, waving her hand in front of my irritated face. So what if they have their own handshake? It will never be as great as ours. Emily is right. Ours is the envy of 7 continents, or would be, if we could find a way to get it on TV. And don't let Tracy get under your skin. She's not worth it. And you have to admit it. She's been a lot less awful lately. Emily is right. Tracy has been different since kidnapping Eddie. Less mean, less braggy, less Tracy. But I assume it's because she's busy at work on some even more dastardly scheme and is trying to keep a low profile. I don't know what it is, but I intend to find out. Earth to Moxie! Emily looks as if she's trying to tell me something very important. I am trying to tell you something very important. Of course, the case. Does it involve a panther? It's too crazy to describe. I need to show you. Emily reaches into her backpack. I expect to see a platypus skull, or a mangled tiara, or the disputed will of a Bulgarian earl. But then the warning bell rings, which means we're supposed to be at our desks sitting quietly and ready to learn in exactly 5 minutes. I have to go to the office and have my note signed for missing school on Friday, says Emily. But what about the case? I'll tell you at first recess. I like waiting about as much as I like getting flu shots. We go inside. Emily runs into the office, and I spend a minute admiring Eddie. You're looking good, Eddie. I say it out loud. There at the base of Eddie's case is the Tiddlywump motto, be wise like Eddie, which is what I try to do every minute of every day. Good morning, Moxie. I turn, and there is Principal Jones, tall, intelligent, noble. She is the world's finest principal, and, according to reliable sources, the keeper of a tank of toothless eels that's hidden below a trapdoor in her office floor. I have never met the eels and plan to keep it that way. Good morning, Principal Jones, I say, trying my best to look dignified and respectable and ready for anything. And how is Tiddlywamp's finest detective? Can't complain. Had 2 bowls of oatmeal this morning, feeling fortified. I do not know why I'm telling Principal Jones about my breakfast. To be entirely honest, she makes me a little nervous. I am glad to hear it. Yes, nutrition is my middle name. I hope that Principal Jones realizes that this is just a phrase that means nutrition is important to me. My real middle name is Minerva. We stand there for a minute, smiling together at history's most lovable owl. It sure is good to have Eddie back where he belongs, she says, before giving me a dignified nod and heading back to her own office. It sure is, I think. I give Eddie one last loving glance and head down the hall to the 4th grade classroom, bracing myself for another Monday at the mercy of Mrs. Bunyan, history's least lovable 4th grade teacher. I slide into my seat and am wondering what lies in store for me when I suddenly notice that Mrs. Bunyan is now a cheerful bald man with bright orange glasses and an oversized smile. And that is where we will leave it for tonight. Robbie looks like she has something she wants to say.
El Puppy had some good observations and
let's hear
good
it.
questions.
Let's hear it. Okay.
First off, El Puppy wanted us to read the secret handshake.
Okay, let's zoom in on it. Let's zoom in. We have worked on secret handshakes in previous versions of Story Hour.
Yes. Yes, if you guys listen to Story Hour.
What story? What was Rocketfish and Clam?
It was Rocketfish and Clam.
If you guys go back... I believe it's pretty early on. Yeah, here we go.
There's the secret handshake.
All right. So let's do a couple of these
okay,
moves
secret
here.
handshake. Tap the elbows.
Boom.
Love the slug.
This is, I think, something like that.
Something with one thumb up.
Oh, this is all of the
Chop the
moves.
avocado.
Okay.
Oh, no. You do fist and hand, and I chop it. Chop.
Okay, so we're doing that together. Dump the soup.
Dump the soup. Psh, scoop the ice cream. This one was... Nope. There we go.
Okay, all right.
Bump the butt. Gobble the turkey. Brush it off. Do the fungo.
All right, so I would like all of you to practice doing Moxie and Emily's secret handshake.
That is very
you know
tricky.
The moves. I would like to see someone do it with absolute fluency.
Yes.
Not at all like Robbie and I just did.
No.
Like Charles Wallace and I would have done it back in the day when we saw each other. And we're
Your
like, hey,
dear-
real friend.
your dear fake
hey,
friend,
exactly,
Charles
human
Wallace.
person. Let's do our secret handshake that only real boys can do together. That's how the conversation went. Yeah.
The other thing that El Puppy pointed out, which was
what's that?
very good eyesight.
I would. Are you saying El Puppy can see? What
Yes.
is it? What is it?
I mean, El Puppy was being observant.
Let me hear it.
It is that the F's in the voice bubbles.
Yeah.
There we go. The F's in the voice bubbles are bolded.
Interesting. Yeah.
And here is the answer to this.
Tell us, why is that?
It is because in this particular font, which is the writing, so this is typed on the computer. It looks like handwriting, but it's made to, but it's actually, when you type in, it's a particular font, right? So that's what it's called, the type style.
Because it takes a lot of work and time to handwrite all this, and
Yes.
Robbie doesn't actually
I
have the
don't
particular
have
skill. People who do this for real in
Yeah.
comic books, they know how to make it look exactly right.
And to fit in a particular
Yeah.
space. Anyway, so this particular font, the F's had very short hooks on it, and it made it look like a T. It made it a little bit hard, and it also crowded the next word, the next letter next to it. So the designer, our designer, Natalie Sousa,
Natalie Sousa.
she said, we need to find a different F. And she went through the entire book.
What?
And replaced all of those F's. Now, the reason it's bold here is because my computer does not own that font.
Oh.
So it's replacing it with a fake replacement.
Crazy.
To show that it does not belong to the same font.
That is how hard people work to make things work as well as possible.
Yes. So Natalie did not want kids reading this book, or adults, to be confused and to keep reading it as a T. So she went through and changed every single F that's in a voice bubble to a different font.
I am so impressed.
Right?
Good for you, Natalie Sousa.
There
Good
you
for
go.
you, Robbie Bear.
There you go.
The work that goes on behind the scenes that I'm
Yeah.
not even aware of. I'm really impressed.
See? Wow. Thanks, Natalie. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Natalie Sousa.
And you know what makes me the happiest about this story?
What?
I did not have to go through and do
Yeah.
all those changes.
Yeah, when we self-published, we had to do all
would
the
have been
things
my
ourselves.
job.
I'm not trying to discourage you from self-publishing, my friends. It is
Yeah.
thrilling, and
Yep.
we learned a lot by
Yes.
doing all the things.
Yes.
But at this particular point,
Problems
we're
like
excited
that would have been my problem, not Natalie's.
to have people like Aaron, who helped me make the story better,
Yes.
and people like Natalie, who helped Robbie deal with issues like the
Yes.
one we just described, in addition to making really thought comments on all of the illustrations.
Well, I have to say,
Yeah.
she noticed
Yeah.
that F was a little hard to read.
You wouldn't have, huh?
I didn't notice.
Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's hardest to notice things about things you've been looking at the
Yes.
longest. And when I have been reading a story for days and weeks and trying to make it better myself, I am so sick of it, and I can't see it very well. So it's essential that I give it to someone
Not
else.
as in like he can't see it.
No,
as in like he reads it and he literally will come to me and be like, I don't know if this is good or terrible.
No,
I need your help. Just read it and tell me whether it's good or terrible.
Because so much of the fun of reading a book or a sentence or a paragraph or anything is being surprised by the choices that the creator makes.
By what happens.
And once you are so familiar with something you made yourself, you've probably heard that phrase, or maybe it's not a phrase, but like that cooks can't enjoy their own meals because they've been in the kitchen cooking and they've been smelling it, so it's not surprising and delightful to them. The same thing happens when you're creating a piece of art sometimes and you spend a lot of time on it. So if you've been making something for a long time
and you're frustrated and you think it stinks,
step away from it.
Yeah.
Step away from it, give yourself some space,
Yeah.
or hand it to someone else and let them experience it, because to them it will be new and exciting and surprising. So just remember, that's part of the creative process. Sometimes you just need to step away from your work for a while, okay?
So that you're not so tired of it and steeped in its funk.
You've heard it here first.
No, you
unless
might have,
someone else already told you.
You might have heard it somewhere
else. In
else.
which case, you haven't heard it here first.
Is Eddie based off of Robin, who is wise?
Is Eddie based... Well, Robin and Eddie have a lot of the same characteristics of wisdom and judgment and prudence, which
But frankly, Eddie doesn't actually tell or reveal his wisdom, I don't think. We just assume he's wise because we've been told he's wise.
That's what you think. But when you're not watching, Eddie says just an unending string of wise things. He chooses only to reveal himself to people who are worthy of his wisdom.
All
so
right.
you're backing yourself into a little bit of a corner right now. He talks to me a lot. And the things he says are just sort of gut-wrenchingly profound. All right? There's some more questions.
Yes,
El Puppy.
there's some jokes. There's some jokes. We got lots of jokes.
Well, we only have 2 minutes left, so let's joke it up.
Wait, is it on the agenda?
Let's see if I left room for El Puppy.
Oh, here's a good point. M&M Inc.'s payment should be in M&M's. I agree.
Well, but here's the thing. They can use their dollar to buy M&Ms if that's what they choose.
I don't know.
Or
Can
they
you
can
buy M&Ms for $1?
Or they can buy a healthy snack like a turnip and eat that if that's what they prefer. So I disagree.
I think you can buy neither a turnip nor M&M's with $1 these days.
Cash currency is the finest form of payment. Here we go. What does that say?
The interview proceeds as time allows. Too late until 1:55. Too late is 1:59. When we must suddenly cease to leave sufficient time for jokes. Oh, when we must suddenly cease in order to leave sufficient time for
jokes. Quick jokes.
There's so many jokes.
All right, well, we don't have time for so many, so let's do it quick, like rabbits.
These are all from El Puppy.
Oh my gosh, El Puppy, do you make these up? Do you have a book? Do you go to the Oracle? Do you listen to Eddie when Robbie's not around?
All right.
Okay.
What time would it be if Godzilla came to school?
It would be roar o'clock.
Oh. That was good.
You like that?
I do like that.
Okay.
That is not the answer.
It would be monkey business time.
No.
Godzilla's not a monkey. Lizard business time. It would be dragging around time.
No.
Quick, on to another one.
It would be time to run.
Oh, I like that because Godzilla's scary.
What are the strongest days of the week?
Strongest days of the week? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. None of them are strong. They all are very weak. Strongest days of the week. The strongest days of the week. I don't know.
Saturday and Sunday. The rest are weekdays.
I like it.
All right, last one.
Yes.
Where do hamburgers go to dance?
To the disco, to the ballroom, to the meatball room.
Yeah. Oh, to the meatball.
Oh.
Oh.
The meatball room?
No, the meatball.
No,
to go to a ball.
I get it. But that takes place in the meatball room. That's what I'm saying. So they actually go to the meatball room. I was correct.
All right.
And at the same time that I was wrong.
El Puppy doesn't reveal her secrets.
Okay, that's fine.
She said she's not going to reveal her secrets.
I don't need to know your mystery. You will always be a bewitching and distant figure to me. I can't understand you. And you're on common allegiance with Robbie. And that is part of the joy
of the mystery
of beholding El Puppy from across the way.
That's right.
All right. Friends.
Let's see.
I think
that was such a...
You know, we had a lot before the reading. I want you not to be disappointed.
Yeah.
We had some fun up front.
More jokes.
We front-loaded the front.
William, you need to tell us more jokes.
Yeah, you can't just demand jokes in the ether.
We're terrible at telling jokes. That's why we need you guys.
I told my one joke that I can tell, and I alluded to the one joke I can't tell. And that's as far as I can go. That's as far as I can go.
You know what I do? Okay, so there's a tradition in St. Louis, apparently, that instead of saying trick or treat when you go trick or treating, you tell a joke.
Well, I think
You still have to say trick or treat. Anyway,
just say what we do.
I learned about this. So now in our house, when people come to our house to trick or treat, they get their first piece of candy for saying trick or treat.
Because Rob is just generous like that.
Yes.
Yeah. But
well, also, if you don't say trick or treat, I'm not giving you a piece of candy.
Heck no.
I don't care how old you are.
If you are a surly teenager and you come by in like jeans and a bag
hold
and
out
you're
a bag, nope.
No.
You gotta say trick or treat.
Do you know what happened one time when she was little?
This tells you a little bit
Robbie,
about where I
Robbie's
get my
mom,
attitude.
who is 4 foot 10 feet tall, not
4
a tall.
4 10 inches tall.
4 foot.
She's very short.
She was 4 feet 10 inches tall.
Yes.
Yes. A greedy child came up and took a handful of candy.
Handfuls of candy.
Out of Seiko's bucket
Basket,
of candy.
Yes.
And Seiko took the child's
whole bag and dumped it back into our candy basket.
All of the child's candy.
She was like, you get one piece of candy. She took the whole thing and dumped it back in our basket.
I mean, can you understand? That is why you all admire Robbie, because she is the product.
I would never do that.
Yes, I think you would.
But I won't give somebody candy if they don't at least take the very base line of saying trick or treat, for goodness sakes. If I'm going to give you free candy. Anyway, yes, you get your first piece of candy for saying trick or treat. You get a bonus piece of candy if you tell me a joke.
It doesn't have to be a good joke.
Nope.
You don't have to deliver it with any sort of panache.
And in fact, I've opened the gates a little bit to allow riddles and knock-knocks as well.
It's basically putting yourself out there.
Yes.
And extending a gesture.
Yes.
And we honor all gestures.
Yes.
And if you are not going to participate, that's fine. You still get a piece of candy.
You still get your first piece.
So it's all a bonus.
It is my favorite day of the year.
It's become popular.
Yes.
Kids have now started coming back.
Kids now come by and they have jokes prepared.
I have to expect to see El Puppy show up at Halloween next year.
And the fact is, I've heard some fantastic jokes.
Yeah.
They go in one ear, out the other.
We've got to write them down.
I can't remember any of them.
Next year on Halloween, I'm going to sit there with my laptop,
all right.
writing them all
write
down.
all
and
the
we'll
good
share
jokes.
them with you guys.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, we've gotten some more jokes. El Puppy has one more joke. All right. How do you know when the moon has had enough to eat?
Because it's full.
Yes! Very good.
All right. Thank you for throwing me one I could do. Robbie is the most
Robbie's the most worthy, and
worthy.
Eddie talks to me too. Claims El Puppy. I haven't actually heard.
I think the Robbie and Matthew show is actually an elaborate experiment to build Matthew's self-confidence or destroy it. One of the two. Right now, it is proving to be the former. I feel better than I ever have before. Thank you, friends.
See?
I've enjoyed spending this time with you. Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
I'm so glad that we've started book 2. Very exciting. There's lots on the horizon.
I have reviewed the first 4 chapters of book 2,
Yeah.
and each of those 4 chapters are the perfect length to read in their entirety.
Read the entire...
I don't know if the entire book goes that way.
I was going to say, what happens in chapter 5?
That's as far as I went. I just knew that for the rest of the week, we will be able to read all of them to you.
Yes.
All right?
All right.
All right, cool. Friends, thank you.
We love you guys. Thank you for visiting with us.
El
We'll
Puppy,
see you tomorrow.
El Puppy, I knew you lived in the Great Midwest, and I thought you might show up here anyway. That's what I'm talking about. Such as your love of jokes,
your devotion
and
to
Robbie,
jokes and to Robbie.
Both of which will be in one place on Halloween next year. All right? Goodbye, friends.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for spending this time with us.
Yes.
Enjoy your day. Goodbye.
Good.